Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. So, here, this is the second presentation of the Azure Excellence program, a program designed for MSP. We will cover topics to support salespeople, decision maker, and technical staff. Let's remember the first session. We covered the following point. What is Azure? The difference between cloud models, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, comparison with on-prem environment, what is AVD, and the difference with RDS, what we call terminal server, and Windows 365 as well. So for those who don't know me as well, I am the Azure Program Manager. My role within IT Cloud is to promote Azure in all form as possible, sales or technical, and like today, through a training. My goal is to help partners in acquisition of customers through technology. I'm here to explain, popularize, and simplify the practice and documentations of our dear manufacturer, Microsoft. Also, if you have any question about software licensing, perpetual and subscription license, Windows, SQL, Cal, and other, I'm here for that. So let's see the agenda together. So for today's session, take a look about the agenda. We already covered some point from the first session. In the second one, we will drive to walk through Azure pricing calculator. It will be the final goal. So, and after that, we will take a look about the invoice. At the end of the session, you will be invited to book a call with me if you need more information, do a practice from Azure calculator price or something like that. Just to set the expectation, silent technical, more than 30 slides today to see together. The following presentation is recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. We have planned a period of at the end of the session for a question. The target audience partner with little or no experience with Azure and AVD, but it's also a good refresher for more experience as a reseller. Objective, we want to share with you a basic knowledge to help you make your Azure sales pitch and build a solid foundation for your technical knowledge. In other words, start or expand your Azure sales. Here we go. Let's start with the sale. How and who? The customer needs to understand the advantage, the gain. He needs to see the opportunity. I like to make the comparison with the car's world. The on-prem, which is equivalent to the purchase a car, and the cloud, which is the equivalent to the rental a car. My best example is always with my father. He needs to purchase a car. He doesn't plan to change next year's. It's a long-term vision for him. He's still waiting at home and hit the road only to go at the grocery at the corner of the street. Unlike me, I still have young children's. In short term, I will need to change of model because my reality will be changed. During this term, I drive 7 hours on the road to visit my father. So I still need warranty and service from my dealer and manufacturer. The on-prem model still exists. There are reasons for that. And as discussed on the first session, PLC, CNC, big file, ERP could be some of those reasons. The customer could be afraid of the recurrencies, pardon me, and the monthly fee of Azure. In my opinion, this negative argument should be transformed as a sale argument. It is easy to show and explain to the customer the potential of the cloud billing model to pay the right price and to be flexible. Let's see here some of the other advantage. for the customer. Access to the cloud infrastructure from industrial perspective. So the customer can play into the big world from industrial. So it's not a personal stuff. This is not commercial. This is amazing. Lower initial expense, no depreciation. This is not a capitalization. This is operational for sure. But we need to get the client type who understand that. So honestly, if you play with a client where the target is play with the infrastructure over than 5 year, over the warranty, could be tough to discuss about that with this kind of customer. The customer need to understand the plus value of the warranty and the service on the infrastructure. This is the same concept from comprehension and visibility of Microsoft on the cloud. Lattice on-site migration could be a good reason for the customer to upgrade or get rid of the material, to get rid of the server room and move all the process into the cloud. Advantage, redundancy, and high availability. In Canadian Azure cloud, we have two Canadian data center, Toronto and Quebec. Availability zone, local redundancy, geo redundancy, or zone redundancy could be great opportunity. And if the customer need that, could be great. Reinforced security, for sure. All the stuff from Microsoft Office 365, conditional access, MFA, and other stuff will be joined to our back row, the granularity security from Azure configuration. Performance elasticity, as every time Microsoft Azure is not scalable, is elastic. This is not the same thing. Everywhere, anyhow, we can scale in, scale out. We can add power. We can add VM and services to a current exercise. And every time, everywhere, we can scale up and scale down. We can grow up or downsize the VM, the power of this VM of services by modification of the instance, by example. We talk right now about infrastructure as a service and platform too. So we can do that from Azure. This is elastic. This is not the same thing. Let's continue. The sale, but from IT Cloud now. We will look here the reason why, the advantage that the customer has passed through you, the reseller, from us, the distributor. When a customer go with Azure from IT Cloud, he will get this. The license integration, for sure, operating system and application are dropped directly into the customer portal. All the software and application will be dropped from Microsoft Admin Center. So everybody can play with that. We get rid from, by example, the previous portal from volume licensing when we need to deploy and have another set of credentials to play with the license. Today, everything is inside Microsoft Admin Center. Everything is in the same place. Integration of software suite and Office 365 services for sure. Word, Excel, Outlook, and Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive. Everything under the same umbrella. Management monitoring tool already integrated from the IT Cloud portal, and as well we will discuss about the Microsoft tool customer management tool. Pardon me. We will take a look about that eventually in the presentation. Unified billing model. As a CSP distributor, we already offer you the direct and indirect billing model. Could be a good advantage for you from IT Cloud, and as well the kickback and discount from IT Cloud. And the last, and probably the bigger one, the CSP support. So it's already planned from CSP perspective. The customer can involve the reseller to get support. If the reseller doesn't have the knowledge or experience, you can involve us, the distributor. If we don't have the knowledge or the expertise, we already have contract with Microsoft to involve the engineer about Microsoft. So this is a good reason to get support and make business with us. So this is the IT Cloud Services 5-star as usual. See here the screenshot. Here we go. Okay, maybe a little bit cross sell here. our brand new IT support services called Teammate, the little extra from IT Cloud, our unique approach to support and transfer our IT expertise. We are here to support you, pardon me, ensure the success of your project while reinforcing the skills of your team. For any kind of project, as EVD deployment, Microsoft Teams phone, multi-tenant collaboration, global secure access, and the last, the proof of concept. Our IT support service is designed to meet the specific needs of reseller such as you, the MSP. To engage this team, it's very easy. From your IT Cloud Partner Portal, from the left menu, you will see a section about Teammate. From the different service of the drop-down list, you will see one-time fee of different services or the early fee of the proof of concept, where we can do anything you want, almost. There are a lot, there is a house of reason and benefits to deploy Azure service to your customer and from IT Cloud. Let's look at some of these reasons together, which will be useful to you in creating your sales pitch to your customer. So intro integration, probably you already know about that. So Azure Active Directory, now call it intro. You will have access to MFA, SSO, and Intune. This is a big part of Azure for sure. Azure Virtual Desktop, multi-session of Windows 10 or 11, exclusively from Azure. What will be the objective of today? This is a big part of this presentation, AVD. Windows 365, we already discussed about that from the previous session. Aligned to the business, enterprise, and frontline SKU, where we can answer to the request of the customer when the ratio is 1-to-1 compared to the VD, when the idea is share infrastructure to many people, many staff in the same time. Backup and restore services integration, we see free services. It's true. The backup and restore services is free. It's not a software. This is a service from Azure portal. We engage fee when we play with storage, when we start a backup and restore. So we pay for what you use. This is the pay as you go concept. But basically, the service is here for you. You only need to engage the service, and voila. Saving option. So here we can pass from pay as you go to saving option. Reserve instance, saving plan, hybrid, Azure hybrid benefit, and spot instance. As we already discussed from the first session, reserve instance is like a prepared gift card designed and aligned to the reality of the small business. Saving plan is more like a credit card prepaid, more aligned for the bigger customer. Roughly, when a customer have service and resource spread across different data center around the world, saving plan could be great. For the small company too, but we need to be sure about what we are doing about that. So keep in mind those saving options are aligned for different purpose. Azure Hybrid benefit, the most of the time we need to engage those to save a lot of money for the customer. And there is a big advantage from CSP perspective. Let's talk about that in a few minutes. And the spot instance, as the name tell us, the VM could be stopped on the spot. So Microsoft can share us the unused performance of the host for a fraction of the price. So the deal is here, but they keep in mind the VM could be shut down when Microsoft need power, so they can get back the resource. And this is not a good idea for the production environment. Could be great for proof of concept, demo, or a sequential work, something like that, but not for commercial perspective. But let's see here later. Okay, here a little reminder, pardon me, of what we saw at the first session. First, the four styles of invoicing. Remember, when we start a subscription, it's always an pays as you go model. You pay for what you use. Afterwards, three styles are available to fix and reduce the monthly payment, called saving option. We have the reserve instance, the most common for the SMB. It's like a gift certificate, as I said. We consume a predetermined product. The second one, the saving plan, more suitable for very large company. It's like a prepaid credit card. We buy what we want up to a maximum of. And the spot instance, the more specialized for test and work sequence, could be a good idea too for the proof of concept or test. Remember, in both cases, we are talking about commitment between the customer and Microsoft, which means whatever happens to the subscription, by example, if we cancel that, the commitment of the reserve instance and the saving plan remain. In the same way as the marketplace item, the customer engage another contract. The best example can I use about it is a little bit like the car and its insurance. There are two joint services, but independent in the same time. If we get rid of one, the car, by example, we must to not forget to warn the second. If not, the second still get money from your bank account. Trust me. If you get rid of your car, the insurance still get money from your bank account. So don't forget to manage all the dependency in the same time. Also, Office 365 license eligible for AVD. Remember, the hero SKU here is Office 365 Business Premium. Why? This offer, from this offer, we can install the Office suite in share installation mode. It's needed from the multi-user operating system as AVD and like RDP. Remember, when we provide the software of Office in share mode from AVD and RDP or terminal server, we need to deploy in share installation. We can install. We cannot do that with the next. So we need to deploy to share the usage from licensing base. So Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive services are already included from Office 365 Business. So it's the reason why this is the Hero SKU. And many more of add-on and security plugin like the conditional access and MFA. Take note here. The access and the reserve instance, the access of the reserve instance and saving plan are by request, is on request. You must send a request to us to enable it. By architecture, by design, Microsoft from CSP perspective have blocked those features. You need to request us, the distributor, to unlock those tenant by tenant, customer by customer. My best recommendation about it for you is include this practice when you spin up a subscription of Azure for your customer. Send us a service request to request us to unlock the reserve instance, the saving plan, and eventually the cost management tool. We will see that later. So please make me pleasure, insert those tasks into your deployment default strategy when you play with Azure. Yep, this one about the license too. We will take a look closer about that from this reminder later. Invoicing model. So now let's see how we do that in the real world. So switch from the theoretical to practical. So here, remember, we always start with the pay-as-you-go concept. After that, we play with the license saving option for the license, saving option from the infrastructure, and spot 2. How can we do that? Here, from a VD perspective, remember, the VDA license is included in Business Premium. So when we play with a VD, Microsoft take care about and check the mark for the licensing. So you save the money about the licensing automatically from AVD programmation. Next one. When we need to involve that, it's easy. We only need to bring the good license for the end user, for the customer. So from Business Premium, E3 and E5. So those are the license software needed for the end user. After that, when we want to play about licensing of operating system, the Windows Server, by example, we can activate the Azure Hybrid benefit to save money. How can we do that? Two things. First, from an active software assurance, this is out of scope of CSP from IT Cloud for sure. But us, we have the subscription software, 1 year and 3 years, and you can save a lot of money. The customer can save a lot of money about that. So how to do that? You only need to distribute the good license and remember the good amount of license. Remember the rules about the CPU licensing. Just take note if you need some assistance about that, I'm here to that. So just book me a call and we do our architecture about the license just to be sure you are on the good track. So let's continue about SQL, Linux. Linux is particular, it's special. You can bring your own license, but this is exactly the same concept. You can just check the mark and Microsoft don't bill you anymore because you import or bring your license with you. After that, what do we have? Saving option, reserve instance, save up to 72%, and saving plan, eventually up to 65%. You are able to do that by yourself to engage those contracts directly from the Azure portal, from the Blade reserve instance and saving plan as well. So you are able to do that. Remember the addition of this subscription, you need to unlock it from us with a service request, and you are able to do that by yourself. But all the rest after the fact, if you need to cancel or return or refund, you need to engage us, the distributor, to do that. The distributor is tied to the contract. So if you need to do any other after the fact manipulation, you only need to request our service team. Just make a ticket and everybody will be assist you with pleasure for sure about that. But remember, the reserve instant, this is an open contract. You can get rid about that. Saving plan, there is no possibility, there is no refund policy. So take care of. The spot instance, yes, the percentage of save is very big, but as I said, this is for particular situation. Could be great for test mechanism of development or maybe proof of concept or test. Could be great. And to engage this opportunity, we need to check the mark when we deploy the VM. This is a question during the wizard. Let's take a closer look at the Azure Hybrid benefit. What is this? How do we activate all of this at itcloud.ca? So for Windows and SQL, in your card from your partner portal, you must provision the required license with the right quantity. So there is a particular section from us. As you can see, to activate the Azure Hybrid benefit, you need to get a prerequisite and type of available license about that. And for sure, from subscription, from CSP, we have a particular situation. We can involve standard license. Remember from Azure Marketplace concept, we can only provide and spin up data center edition. But from CSP perspective, from Microsoft, we can engage the Azure Hybrid benefit from subscription with standard. So you save a lot of money about that. You don't need to engage the data center edition. So just remember that this is a good thing to know. When we provision the license, they will be dropped into the Microsoft Admin Center of the customer under the billing your product section of the portal. In some case, like from Windows, it will be on type trust. It's mean you don't need to manipulate it. No activation necessary. Natively, Windows are deployed under Azure, not installed. You don't need to have your ISO and click next, next, next. No, no, no. You only need to deploy from the marketplace. You follow the wizard, you answer the question, and voila, Azure deploy it for you, and you connect yourself. Unlike the CALs, for example, you need to extract the key to configure it in the RDS license manager. So it is case by case, depending on the type of your license. So in order to switch from the billing method to another one, you must configure the option in the Azure portal. Where is the screenshot about that is, oh, I don't have it, sorry. We will see it later anyways, not a big deal. Um, mm, 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 mm. As shown in the previous slide, we put the hook or click the radio button, this impact the Azure billing module to change your style of invoicing. We will take a closer look about the invoicing in a few minutes, but keep in mind, all those are about billing when we switch from pay-as-you-go to hybrid benefit. So it will be an impact about the invoicing. As I said, you can purchase the Windows Standard to be legal regarding the image of Windows Data Center. So yes, the standard is allowed as a benefit of Azure Hybrid benefit. So another question must be bring into your mind. So if there is a difference from the price between standard data center on the Azure, for sure the answer is yes. It's why we told you about that, because your customer can save a lot of money. Something of particular you need to understand from standard concept. One license for one machine. So 8 vCPU are the minimum from Azure. So you need to get one license pack at minimum of 8 vCPU per machine. So there is a difference from data center edition with a software assurance. This is out of scope for us, but good to know. If you have a customer with that, the license could be split with 2 VM. Oh, could be have a high advantage, the half of price. But this is particular to software assurance from another segment or distribution channel. So just to let you know. Um, After that, um, mm, for SQL, the Azure Hybrid benefit is suitable for the bigger infrastructure, bigger server. I mean, if your customer is ready to go with a 3 years commitment, the hybrid benefit is better from us in distribution. If your customer want to play with a small SQL server, you must play with the pays as you go. So eventually, with this kind of scenario, I can explain you one to one to see what is the scenario, what is the advantage, and how to calculate the break even about that. I'm here for that, so don't worry. Um, Another question will be from other distribution channel. Can my customer bring their own license to Azure? By example, if my customer have an OEM license, a retail MSDN license, unfortunately, the answer is no. License from other distribution channel are not admissible. I will give you a simple little tip. Under Azure, we talk about rental. Only monthly payment, annual payment, or 3 years payment. In other words, the perpetual word does not exist over Azure. If I take another angle, the operating system and the application need to be covered by those type of license. What's mean? Windows, RDS, RMS, SQL, and Office as well. What's mean? If you want to deploy Office Suite under Azure, you must have a Office 365 license. What's mean? The Pro Plus version by the past from Perpetual World are not admissible from Azure. Just remember that will be not a deal breaker, but if your customer want to be by the law, you need to take care about that. Well, at the next slide, we will focus on the next goal, bring us to the Azure price calculator. Here we will look at how the pricing of a VM, more precisely on an EVD for sure, works and the option associated to it. Let's start the engine. So here we need to remember again and again when we spin up a subscription, we play first with the pays as you go. You pay for what you use. We will split the bill in two parts. The license fee of the VM and the infrastructure cost. Infrastructure, what's mean? Instance, CPU plus RAM, hard drive, NIC, and eventually the backup. The backup is not necessary, but it could be helpful for sure. What's next? We can move over the license cost with the access right. What we talk about VDA from AVD included into business premium. Okay, keep in mind this particular situation is exclusively for pardon me AVD. So when you have AVD with Office 365 Business Premium, by example, you don't need to pay for the VDA license because it's already included. So you save money about that. It's the reason why we tell every time the Business Premium is the hero SKU regarding the AVD call. This is a package deal from Microsoft. Microsoft marketing. We need to know that. After that, we can switch from server from pays as you go to HB. This is again and again always the same information, but you need to see how it's applied. It's why I spend a lot of time about that. So from CSP world, you can bring the license with the customer regarding Windows Server, SQL, and Linux too. What's next? Saving option regarding the infrastructure. You can apply reserve on instance, but there is a lot of other type of reservation. But the most of the time from SMB, the instance is the most popular. But you can play with hard drive, 1 TB and more, and other kind of service like that. But this is for bigger customer. But there is. It's good to know. And after that, the saving plan can just add top of the pie to save money. And the least, the spot instance is rare. It's very particular, but could be great from some particular situation with the customer. Some thumbs up. So AHB is a green thumbs up. You must pass through that to save a lot of money. Reserve instant. This is a good recommendation. It's not mandatory, but it's your deal. If you want to save money, could be a great idea. Red down thumbs up because it's not for everybody. You need to know what you're doing about that. It's the case. If you have any question, just let me know, and we will do case by case to evaluate the possibility of saving plan. Between you and me, Microsoft told us about that from the advisory of Azure portal. We'll take a look closer in a few slides. Now we will look at the cost. Those who are variable, fixed, or progressive. We still have our VM with the license, with the infrastructure, and the optional backup. I told optional because it's not necessary for the production, but could be great to get it. Here we are. The price of the license could be stable. So if you move from pay as you go to AHB, the price of the license of the VM will be stable because you pay upfront the license from CSP provisioning. The instance could be variable if you still go with the pay as you go model. What's mean? If you shut down and you deallocated your VM, you don't pay for that. But if your VM is up and running, you will pay for sure. But if you switch to reserve instance, the price will be fixed. We walk through all those concepts because the question is always the same. Cool, I know the price in advance. Cool, the price is stable from Azure. The answer is always it's depend. It's depend of the usage. When we move for price as you go, you pay for what you use for different other concept. Some other resources or services still on pay as you go. It's why I'm showing that for you right now. Like the hard drive could be stable, but depending of the size of, because remember, you are able to upgrade or upsize the disk as you need. Remember, it's not supported to go down to downsize. I not I'm not telling you it's not feasible. I just telling you it's not supported from Microsoft perspective. There is a lot of documentation on the web to know how we can do that, to downgrade, downsize the disk of the VM. But it's not supported from Microsoft. So you need to take care by your own. What's next? The network, the NIC, could be variable, and we have a max cap. Remember by the past, our telecom provider from mobile phone, we had, I don't know, 100 minutes per month, and it was 10 cents per minute per month of more per month. So it is exactly the same thing. Each server from Azure perspective have 100 gigs per month of egress data. Oops, what is egress? All data outgoing of the data center, all data you push out of Azure. But remember, from AVD perspective, you only need push keyboard, video, and mouse. It's not a big deal. So, by example, for 5 people, for a normal usage, 100 gig will be enough. And don't mix up with the consumption of Azure. What's mean? If I have a remote user play with an EVD and he consume video, music, and other stuff like that, it's not egress. This is incoming data. So there is no charge about that. Remember the first session, we talk a lot about that. What's next? And about the backup now. It will be progressive. So we talk about churn here. So at the beginning, it will be bigger churn, and during the time, the churn will be lower and lower. So at the end of the week, end of the month, maybe it will be more stable. Because day first we start the VM, it will be a big churn, and after that, the customer always play with the same data, with the same database. So the churn will be roughly similar on a daily basis. So the price of the backup will be progressive but stable eventually, depending of the usage of the customer. Remember, some stuff stay in place as you go. The impact of the status of the VM on the cost. This is a good one. Remember, there are 3 types of status: running, For sure, you will pay for what you consume. So we will pay during the running status. But what is the difference and the impact from stop to deallocated? First thing first, what means stop? Remember, from Azure, there is a host and a VM inside. So the VM is tied to the host. The host provide infrastructure and electricity as well. So if you stop the VM, it's mean the VM is stopped, but the host is not aware of. By example, if you are into the VM and you go into the start menu, you click on the bottom and you set to the window stop yourself or shut down yourself, the VM will be stopped, but still provided by electricity from the host. So if you do that, you will stay paying because there is again a connectivity from the host to the VM. So the stopped status is not good to go. The deallocated, what's mean, is from the host, the VM will be moved out. The VM will be deallocated. So there is no link anymore with the host. So from some perspective, you will not pay about that. So let's take a look about an image regarding that. So here, when you are stopped, you will pay for the license for sure because you're still connected to the VM. You will pay for the instance too. I know the VM is down, but the host is not. So you need to pay about that. The SSD or the disk, you will pay for sure every time because this is reserved space of usage in the world about you. So connect or disconnect, you always pay for the disk for sure. The nick, I say yes. It could be yes. So I mean, depending of the activity of the host. But yes, sometimes we saw some payment, but that is uncomfortable. The backup, this is storage of data. So for sure, yes, you will pay. So here we are. You need to remember this slide right now. You will don't pay if you are in biz as you go regarding the license because the VM is disconnected, you can don't pay for the instance if you are in biz as you go because the VM is deallocated, and you are no pay for the NIC too because the VM may go out. But there are only the three exceptions. And between you and me, the most of the people go with the Azure hybrid benefit and reserve instance, and we reboot the machine only for maintenance. Nobody shut down the VM to save money or for another weird explanation. So yes, but keep in mind about that. If you stop the VM, this is a not a good idea. Just to be sure to deallocate it. And how to do that? From the Azure portal, you will see in the ribbon at the top, there is a lot of menu. So you need to click on shut down to shut down the VM. Remember from Hyper-V and VMware, you have stop and shut down at the top. So exactly the same. So don't pass from the VM to go into the start menu in the lower left. Go from Azure portal to manipulate and manage your VM about this specific purpose. Important point here. Don't forget about the B family, the B type of VM. This type of VM work with the burstable, work with credit. When we reboot the VM, all the accumulated credit will be lost and you will restart from the beginning because each VM have a minimum of credit in the wallet. So when you reset, when you reboot the VM, the wallet will be reseated at the first step for the first stage. So you will lose your accumulated credit. It's not a good thing, but it's a good to know. So take care about that. Billing now in detail. So what we have here from IT Cloud. When you spin up an Azure subscription, you will receive an invoice of consumable. from what you consume, what you use. What we need to understand here is for different subscription in the same plan, because yes, a customer can play with many subscription for different reason, for underbilling or just split the bill with the customer division, city, something like that. But it's designed for like that from Microsoft Azure. So what we need to understand here is the anniversary date is always from the first of the month at the end of the month. So when you spin up a machine into the month, during the month, you will pay for what you use. If you start at the end of the month, you will pay an early rate for your VM. But the bill will be on the month. So it's post consume. So what's mean is when you start a VM during a month, you will pay for what you consume, but you will receive the bill after the month. So probably 2 weeks and more after the end of the month. So Microsoft send us the bill, we resend the bill to you. So the most of the time, Microsoft takes 2 weeks to send us the bill. So our admin department just adjust and split to every reseller and customer, and we need maybe some 1 or 2 week to apply the job. But roughly, this is garbage in, garbage out. We don't manipulate the number. We send directly or indirectly to you or the customer the price from the file of the bill of Microsoft. So don't care about that. What's next we need to understand? From our IT Cloud Partner Portal, from the blue tile, we have the dollar sign where we can get some information regarding the consumption of the VM directly on the screen or from a CSV file too to do your reconciliation as you need. So from our portal, you already have a tool to navigate about the price and to have a better understanding. Next phase, the reservation, the saving plan. Remember, those are a different commitment. So here's the catch. When you move from pays as you go to reserve instance and saving plan, you will receive a second bill. All the section or the portion of the instance will be removed from the consumption and you will pay from the right hand. Take care here. The anniversary date are totally different between the reserve instance and the saving plan and are totally different too from the subscription. So those subscription or commitment could be stacked to dependently of the first subscription of Azure. So it's not easy to follow with the customer regarding the reconciliation. My best about that could be start the reservation or the saving plan on the first day of the month. It's not my best, but I only have this option for you right now. So, but honestly, this is not too much or this is not so hard to follow but that. So you only need to understand there is different anniversary date and you pay upfront about that. You don't need to pay yearly upfront. You can continue monthly upfront, but there is two bill. So don't forget if you are in indirect mode and invoicing to forward those two bill to your customer because you need to make an addition together to have the full price of what you're looking for. Special note here, the conversion. Always the question is the same. So could have a stable price from Microsoft Azure? No. I mean, everything from Azure is billed in USD. We receive the bill in CAD. So Microsoft do the conversion each first day of the month. So if you get a contract from Microsoft, by example, for reservation for something maybe for 100, sometime it will be 100 and something So it could be a variable depending of the conversion percentage of the month. So no, there is no possibility to fix the price 100%. We always um, receive or we always act after the conversion percentage from Canadian to US. So unfortunately, we are tied to that. So yeah, so keep in mind about the fluctuation. It's the word I'm looking for. Just take water. Here we go. The families. Here, we just want to give you a quick knowledge to see the table of family. With all the experience of our partners, it's easy for us to note that the D and E family are the most popular and how they are well adapted to meet customer needs. I don't want to spend many effort about that on order, but what you need to understand is the D family is balanced. So the number of CPU will be balanced to the memory. 2 CPU, 8 gigs of RAM. 4 CPU, 16 gigs of RAM. So they are balanced. Compared to the A family, it will be optimized memory balance. What's mean? 2 CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, 2 CPU, 16 gigs of RAM. The amount of RAM will be always bigger compared to the CPU. Scenario when we play with SQL, Oracle, database, and some kind of AVD when the user are most RAM intensive, we can play with the A family. It's not a big deal. And remember, Azure is flexible, so you can play from different power and different type and family of VM. So anywhere, anytime, if your customer just bring to you, hey, the performance is lower, I have some latency or just stuff like that, just give me 5 minutes. So you only need to shut down. So change the family, it's plug and play for sure. Reboot the VM and call back the customer and hey, told me what is the performance right now. So you can do that many time per day if you want. So it's not a big deal. So we are elastic. We are not scalable. We are elastic. Can go in and go out, up and down. Regarding the B series, as I said, take care about that regarding the credits. So it could be a great strategy, but different of the scenario. So always ask us. We will be able to give you good advertise about that. A last point about this slide, pardon me, the GPU. Yes, the more and more we have customer play with AutoCAD, SolidWorks, and Inventor directly in Azure. What's mean? We have access from Canadian Central Data Center with NVIDIA and AMD video card GPU. So we can play with those kind of technology. My recommendation about that is, unfortunately, we are limited by the RDP protocol. So the frame rate is limited. So if your customer play with mechanical, electrical, piping, design, architecture, could be great. But if your customer go with rendering with walkthrough and other animation like that, maybe not. Okay, so take care about the ratio of the video rendering. So we can do a test, but it's always depend. But more and more Microsoft invest money about that to grow this kind of capability, and more, as you can see, there are 3 family today. The NV is the last one. So this is an objective from Microsoft to go into this direction. It will be great in the future. Some thumbs up, green. So D family, E family could be very great. It will be great for you. How to name it? The naming convention. Here, 3 little slides just to give you an extra info in order to know the why and how. Just take a look, just to have and good to be more knowledgeable based on the customer, to understand what is under the hood. So roughly the naming convention is always the same. Family, subfamily, number of virtual processor. If there is some constraint, additional feature, acceleration type, and the version as well. Here today, we saw some version 6 appear. So they are GA, general available, not for all categories, but more and more on daily base. So stay tuned, and the sixth generation will be fully available probably in the next weeks. But right now, what we need to understand by this particular example, N is the family with the GPU, by example. So 16 is the number of CPU. And this is particular AS. Little a means us. This is AMD CPU. If there is no letter A, it's mean this is Intel. I know that if there is no letter is Intel, yes, I know. I'm totally agree. But anyway, it's I don't make the naming convention. I'm here to explain. And the little s is for SSD drive. So what's mean? Remember, D and E are the best for you. So conclusion, DSV5 or 6, and the other one ESV5 or 6. They are the best. DS and ES. And last version, simple like that. We will take a look about it into the Azure Price Calculator in a few minutes. Okay, here is the question. How to scope a VM, especially when we talk about EVD. The same question is for RDS, obviously. Note, we are the distributor. We are here to spread the good news, to share the good practice with you. So here we encourage you to read Microsoft documentation, a short read of only 6 pages. Oops. And make your own test and conclusion, because each environment are totally different. Server and user never work in the same way. But in realistic world, here we can see that Microsoft give recommendation for a single session. And it's not really what we're looking for. We are looking for a multi-session environment. But honestly, when we do an Azure price calculator session, as we will do in a few minutes, the basic rule will follow. For an EVD with a light user, Word, Excel, and Outlook, and maybe a small accounting system, we are talking about a minimum of 4 vCPU for the processing, 2 gigs of RAM per VM, and an additional 2 gigs of RAM per user. The issue is there, the user footprint. How much does a user need? The idea here is to think of family as a pool of resources who will share. We know that there are always bigger users compared to the other. So you just need to make sure there's enough for everyone. A family pool, like all other multi-user environment. Keep in mind, but keep in mind, it's always case by case. You must always have a good discussion with your customer in order to clearly define the needs. It's it's always like a speed dating, and we will need to learn together with the time. But remember, Azure is elastic. If you underscope, if you overscope, you will be able to modify your selection. So don't worry, you are not painted into a corner. Azure price calculator. Finally, we arrive at the piece of the resistance from the workshop. See here, we are at the price calculator. We will see how to make an estimate price for an EVD environment. Because yes, as a distributor, we don't talk about service proposal. This is not our responsibility. We are here to do an estimate of usage with you. Our role here is to share knowledge with you guys, to train you, the partner. We will see how to use this tool, designed yet by a Microsoft guy who probably will not be my friend. I say it because, from a point of view, there is a lot of room for improvement. All of this could be so simpler. But anyway, let's see. So my job here for you, make it easy to understand. You will see it's not complex. As usual, it's only complicated. We only need to know it's Microsoft. So, showtime. So, let me stop the share about that and share my screen. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da-ta-da. Here we go. So, perfect. So, we have the Azure price calculator. This good guy will help us to do an estimate of usage of Azure. You need to see that like a grocery cart. You will add every single service or server as you need in your cart. We will configure that, and when we go to the price point, you will pay for that. So it's simple like that. So as you can see, there is a lot of tile. So only for AVD, we will scratch the surface as I told you from the first appointment. So let's play with that. I will add a virtual machine in my cart. Here, I can add an IP address, by example. Oops, no, I don't need. From AVD perspective, Microsoft taking care about that. Okay, I pass through. VPN? No, I don't need. AVD is VPN less. I don't need VPN about that because Microsoft taking care about the backend and all the stuff from the proxy. Remember the first appointment. Okay, I continue. What could be the next step? So maybe the backup? Oh, here we go. So I need to add a backup from my system. I mean, the VM will be inside Azure, but I need to protect it. I know you can protect outside the box. You're right. By example, if your customer already have as backup, could be a great idea to continue this on-premise configuration. Remember all the egress data, you need to pay for that. But between you and me, as backup is very small footprint, depending of the size of your customer for sure and the configuration. But could be great enough and a good alternative way to do the backup outside of the box. As we said in French, to split the eggs into two baskets could be a good idea. But anyway, let's continue about Azure Price Calculator. Here I have the VM. First thing first, I need to select the region. Remember, we have two data center from Canada. So we have Canada Central, Toronto, and Canada East. Okay, how can I do the selection about that? Is simple. First, the closer to your customer. So if your customer is near to Quebec, will be East, near to Toronto, Central. Second part of the decision, what your customer need. If your customer is a no-profit, OBNL, WSBL, something like that, sponsorship, they need to move to that Canada Central. If you need GPU, NVIDIA and AMD GPU for CAD or something like that, or if you need ZRS, the zone redundancy, this is for a bigger customer, trust me. So it's not for SMB. You will need to play Canada Central. Unless both are identical, except Central have three more arguments. So let's play again. So let's select Canada East. And just for your information, this one is tough for me. The price are regularized between both. I mean, it will be the same price for exactly the same aspect service server. compared to other region in the world could be or will have some different of the price depending of the origin of the service. Us, we are equal between or compared to both data centers. So don't worry about that. So let's play with Canada here just for the fun. And as a price calculator, adjust the price. Et voila, boom. Second task. Very, very, very important. Don't remember. Adjust the currency. Everybody fell in this trap at the beginning. And you will see the price will be totally different when we adjust the currency. Oops, good to know. The customer want to know the good price about the Canadian price. Just a small tips, you will see the CA symbol here. So let's continue. I have selected the region. Let's take a look about the printing system. Yes, I'm able to play with Linux. This is the goal of this presentation. Let's play with Windows. Here we can involve directly from Azure BizTalk server and licensing regarding SQL2. Don't play with that for now. This is not the exercise. I don't play with those one. They are only filter. I move over directly from this one, the instance. Here is the, oh my God, there is too much information. I don't know. Okay, this is the bad thing of the part. Let's play with the previous one, the instance series. Remember what I said. The DSV last version, 5 or 6, and ESV last version will be your friends. So here we are. Go into the DS section, maybe DS. As you can see, this category doesn't have V6 for now, maybe in a few weeks. So select this little boy right now. And pay attention. There is DLS and DV. Oops, without S. It's very, very important. Select the good one because there is a lot of difference between the little letter here. So DS and ES will be your friend. Let's play with that. Boom, and see the list now. Oh, it's shorter. So here's the catch. Now we need to select the amount of CPU and amount of RAM. Remember the formula from Microsoft for vCPU, 2 gigs of RAM per operating system plus 2 gigs of RAM per user for light user. So, but this is a pool concept, family concept. So let's play with the scenario when we have 5 users. 5 multiplied by 2 plus 2, 12. We will take a look about the closer one. Who is 8, too small. 16, just enough. So we have 4 vCPU, 60 gigs of RAM. Eventually, if those 5 users are too much RAM intensive, we have 2 alternatives. Move from this guy to the other one to move with a bigger RAM amount. Or remember, we can play with the S family too, the E family too, where there is a lot of RAM compared to the D family. So we are elastic about that. Let's continue. Select this guy here. So 4 CPU, 16 gig of RAM. We have one machine, 730 hours per month. We only want to know how long or how hour per day will be up and running. This is hourly rate charge on the month. So this is the reason why about that. Remember, your server will be stay up and running 24 hours per day. So go back here and this is average, only that. Remember too, when you shut down your VM, less hour, lower will be the price because you don't pay for that, except if you have a reserve instance. So this is not the same game. So here, honestly, you always stay up and running 24 hours per day. So step on the second option, the second section, the saving option. Remember, we will move from pay as you go again to the, oops, no, not saving plan, to the reserve instant. Saving plan are for the bigger customer. SMB is the best, the reservation. Okay, there is 1 year and 3 years. What is the difference? The discount percentage. Remember again, the 3 years reserve instant is an open commitment. What's mean? If we go into the Azure reservation documentation, scroll down to the refund policy, and here we go. Microsoft doesn't charge any early termination fee. It's free of charge. You don't have any penalty. I know there is this part of the sentence who say there might be a 12%. I don't have any crystal ball, but by the past 3 years and a half, Microsoft does not apply that. From 3 years and a half ago, we always play with this part of the rule. Honestly, we can solve, I don't know, few reserve instances per week. So the reseller, as you ask us through a service request from our technical support to exchange, cancel, and refund reserve instance. And you know what? You are refunded, forwarded by the day. You select, by example, a 3 years commitment. You pay month by month. And if you cancel at the half of the month, you will be refunded like that for your own consumption. So could be great. It will be great. Go back into the Azure price calculator. So take a look about the price here. If I move from the pay as you go to 3 years reservation, boom. Oh, this is a good discussion right now. The other part, the OS licensing. So from this amount of money, I pay for the size of this VM. But remember here, we play with AVD. The VDA license is needed, included into Business Premium. Oh, I am able to activate the Azure Bid benefit for AVD. Do you know what's happened with the price? Takes a look. Et voila. We waive the price and the VM infrastructure stay. It's not the same game here. We are competitive right now. Let's continue with the managed disk. So we will play with the premium disk for sure. For commercial perspective, for production, always play with the premium SSD. Okay, we can play again with standard HDD for archiving or some scenario like that. But for commercial production, premium SSD will be the best. Go here, select the size. From AVD perspective, 128 is the minimal. So we need to select this guy right now. Remember what I said previously? You can upgrade your disk anywhere, anytime. Shut down your VM, select a bigger disk, reboot your VM, and expand the disk from disk management, Azure to Wall, from Hyper-V and VMware on-prem. This is exactly the same story. But the downgrade is not supported. I'm not telling you this is not feasible, only supported. So there is a lot of documentation from internet who telling you how to do that, but you must pass through backup and restore procedure, blah, 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 and Microsoft doesn't support that. So please make me pleasure. Always start with a smaller one and get bigger again and again when you need it only. The deal is here to know what is the footprint of a few user. Okay, let's play with 5 user. What's mean? Temporary internet file, all the deleted file, my image, my docs. Oh, no, those ones supposed to be from OneDrive and SharePoint. Download file and other temporary some stuff like that. So for 5 user, 128 could be great enough. If you need, you move over and you pay for the price, only that. So remember, from storage perspective, personal stuff supposed to be on OneDrive, corporate stuff supposed to be under SharePoint or Teams, and all production stuff, database and other stuff like that, supposed to be in the C drive. So always put and store the data where as you need to pay the good price. Let's continue with the disk. We add one bandwidth, the weird situation to understand from Microsoft about that. Remember what I said um, from mobile phone provider. You will have 100 of gig of outbound data from internet egress to internet for free. If you move one, you will be charged 11 cents of more. This will be resetted each end of month. So remember, the billing of Azure is from the first day of month at the last. So the next month after, the counter will be reset. If you don't overpass the limit, you will never pay for the extra charge. You will not overpass. If you will, you pay for what you consume. Only that. And remember, this is only for outbound. So from AVD perspective, when a user consume video or other stuff like that, this is incoming from AVD. Of course, the end user get video, mouse, and keyboard, but it's negligible. So don't worry about that. But it's always depend. This is the rules from Azure. Here we are. This is the price of your VM. Let's continue with the backup. Oops, backup. So configure into the good data center. Where is Canadian East? Of course, we can back up a lot of stuff, but let's play with Azure VM for now. We will play with a standard backup policy. It will be enough for now. We will back up one VM, and worst case scenario, your disk will be full. But remember, day one, I hope so, your disk will be full, maybe enough, and this data will be compressed from Azure perspective. So the price of the data save will be not 100 gig. So let's see what's happened the price if I have a half. Et voila. So you pay for what you use. Azure backup are only storage usage, only that. So you pay for what you use. Worst case scenario, Mr. the customer, when your disk will be full, you will pay for that. The question will be, what's happened when my disk is full? And if I upgrade my disk, the backup will be continue to store your data only, and the price will be adjusted automatically. It's not a big deal for us. So let's play again. So here we are. The backup policy, we encourage you to have a good discussion with your customer. The basic daily retention is 30 days, but see what's happened with the price for 30 days. And if I move, let's play with 7 days, 4 week, 12 months, and you know what? 10 years. Holy, the price is not so higher. Remember, Azure backup are only storage from um, archived disk. So the price is very, very cheaper. So I encourage you to have a good discussion with your customer about the retention policy. What is the stress about your customer regarding the recovery of the data? Let's play with 30 days to the rest of the mechanism just to be easier. Written instant restore snapshot, too much complicated for nothing. Keep it simple. You need to have 5. This is the maximum. Why? The most of the time we have 4 days holiday weekend from Quebec and Canada. So you will be happy to have 1 day of more if something wrong. If we have holiday from Friday to Monday, Tuesday morning, if something wrong, you will be happy to still have instant restore. What's mean? There is no an impact for the quality of the backup and restore, only for the rapidity or the speed of the restore. This will be an instant restore. Okay, so don't play with that and do the maximum for your customer. Here, the daily churn, we never know. We play with moderate because we don't know what will be the churn of your customer regarding the data. So let's play with moderate. Here's the next question. The redundancy, local or geo-redundant? Remember, we have Canada Central and we have Canada East. So you can have server here and backup here to local redundancy, or we can play with the geo-redundant system. So you will have the VM here and the backup here. Could be great. But for sure, there is a price about that. So to have the server at the same place of the backup, 8 and something, and if we play with the geo-redundant, double, only that, you will have data on both places. So here we are, 36 only for the backup, 30 days, two data center, and 5 day of written instant restore snapshot. So let's collapse that. Here we are. We have the VM and we have the backup. This is the first step of the estimate. Now we need to export that where you will be involved as a reseller. We will play with this Azure file, and this Azure file is yours for sure. You can download to add to have it for sure. Here we will have access to all the data what we need to start your recommendation and your proposal to your customer. So here we are. We have the virtual machine with 4 CPU, 60 gig RAM, and 3 years reservation with the price. We will have the backup of infrastructure for 1 VM and with the information about that with the price. Here, something is missing. Probably the Office 365 license, maybe Business Premium for our example. We will need probably a point backup too. We have two formula, 395 and 5 and 95, and something else if we need, by example, Windows Server license or something like that. So we can manipulate easily this file here to do the sum by yourself, and voila, you will have all the number and the proof for your customer to do your estimate or your proposal. So this Excel file is yours. You can just import, copy, and paste and play with that for your customer. Let's go back into our presentation. We are 15 past 3. We are good to go. I'm just launching again the presentation, resume. So here we are, is your price calculator. We had the demo. It's done. What's next? Tool to estimate. So I already prepared something from the desk. So for you regarding the sale aspect, regarding the virtual machine, what will be the advantage and other stuff like that. On technical side, for your technical guy, you can have explanation regarding the virtual machine size, which kind of CPU, hyperthread, or turbo cache, or blah blah blah, some speed spec and other stuff like that. The reason why behind each type of machine in the family. So could be great for your technical aspect to have a good knowledge about that. I add this one to the total cost of ownership calculator. We're just playing with Azure price calculator. This one is the total cost. Honestly, could be great to do it once to understand and to have a better speech for yourself to get more knowledgeable regarding that. Because this is a good idea. This is a good practice to have a more wide, larger comprehension about that. So from this tool, complex, you can have knowledge regarding the all the fee regarding a server room, regarding electricity, security, and other stuff like that. So this is a good exercise for yourself to have a better understanding regarding the total cost of ownership. But do it once, and after that, it will be great enough. So yep, this is the old screenshot about the tool. But Don't do it every time. It will be too much. The advisor must be your friend. I say that like a joke, but seriously, this should be your starting page in Azure. Unfortunately, it's not. The advisor, it's a bit like the IT doctor of your Azure subscription. It is here to give you advice and recommendation about security and other stuff, about cost for saving option like saving plan and reserve instead as well. But more precisely here, we want to talk about the orphan, those here. Remember by the past when we had a VM and we deleted the the dependency was not deleted, so they comes orphans. So from advisor, when we start the page, we have the cost advisory. And if something wrong, if we have disconnected disk or unused services, we'll see here right now. And keep in mind, it's with cents we're doing money. So sometimes it's only few dollar, but on a monthly base, on a yearly base, we can have a lot of loss of money. So it could be great to have a look about that. And for sure, the advisory can give you another aspect and visibility regarding security and other stuff. And for sure, we will see some advisory regarding saving plan and reserve and stand, as I said, and other stuff. So it will be great to have a look each time you enter into Azure subscription. Main pleasure, click at the advisor, the hamburger menu, and the 5 last menu on the row. Next, please, the metrics available from the overview or the metrics section of the portal. We have access to a lot of information to know how the VM are, the CPU, RAM, and storage, if we need to make corrections to our performance and money decision too. So there is a lot of information already included into the portal. We don't need to pay for that. We don't need to do nothing. They are already there. So from the overview or the metric blade, we can have a deep dive of visualization, understanding about what's happened inside the VM. So if something wrong regarding the performance, we can have a look regarding the disk, about the CPU, RAM, and just identify, pinpoint where is the block. So sometimes arrive, sometimes database system just take too much spaces, take too much processor. So this is an easy way to identify it. And you know what? Change the family, change the size. So plug and play again. The Microsoft Cost Management Tool, a tool that I use on a daily basis. When I help the part to understand the invoice and justify the cost of Azure subscriptions. With this tool, it's easy to highlight information who justify an unexpected cost overrun, for example. From the IT Cloud Portal, Partner Portal 2, the blue tie with the dollar sign give you some information too, as I said at the middle of the presentation. Remember, the access of the cost management tool, reserve instance, saving plan are on request that you must send us, by the way, of your choice. The best about it, add this to your internal Azure deployment procedure, as I said, for each customer. In other words, tenant by tenant. So place a service call from IT Cloud Support Department and either ask us reserve instance, civic plan, and cost management tool. This little boy here is not in real time, but close to. And as I said, I do that. I use that on a daily basis to help the reseller to understand what's happened inside the subscription by VM, by category, by region, or to understand what will happen, or because we have projection and we have history too regarding 1 years, and we can understand what's happened, what there is a cliff, what is a break, or something like that during the process of invoicing. So there is a great tool. Keep in mind, this tool is blocked by default, as I said. If you ask to unlock it, every administrative guy or owner of the subscription will have access to that. We are under CSP module, so your customer have the same right as you. So if you unlock it for you, the customer have access to see it too. We cannot just adjust only for you. This is for only every person. So it's lock or unlock. What's next? Yes, the right strategy. Here again, my speech will be based on a good practice, tool and services that our dear manufacturer makes available to us. From our daily discussion and feedbacks from you guys, our partner, we merge all those subjects at the same page. These good practice allow to you be proactive, more efficient, and safer. The reservation utilization alert, this first here, could be very great because remember, the reserve instance is tied to a VM, but is not there is no obligation. I mean, if you change the type or the family of the VM, the reserve instance could be not tight anymore. So you will throw your money through the window. So it could be great to be alerted about that. So make me pleasure, do this best pardon me practice and initiate the reservation utilization alert for you. The oops, sorry about that. The proximity placement group could be a great strategy too if you have more than one server, because from a server room, from a data center, two server from the same customer under the same subscription could be far away one of the other. So we need to have the less latency between. So the proximity placement group could be great to be close one to together to have the less of latency, the better speed of connection for accounting system could be great to involve that for sure. Handset, self-delete, multi-user authorization using resource guard, and immutable vault regarding the backup could be great. When you play with a multi-user environment as as a reseller, when you have many people who manage the same customer, could be great to involve those kind of rules to be more safer to your customer, just in case, just to prevent something wrong from the customer or for the customer. Marketing materials from IT Cloud blogs, you will have access to different article, different subject to know what's happened, what's new, what is the next for the future, and blah blah blah, something like that. Could be great to read about the blog from us. Documentation too, we already have some technical documentation here, so you can get more knowledge regarding some particular subject. After that, partner portal. Yes, from Microsoft as a reseller, you can have access to the marketing, download, and advertising zone from us. So you have access to different documentation. Could be great to take a look about that. Could be some stuff. Could be great to do some presentation like the next one. Here we are, Azure Virtual Desktop. This is the kind of one pager we can provide to us. We still have Jean-Francois in our team to help you to deploy and design some campaign about some kind of product. So this is a good example when you have a one pager for your customer to talk about Azure Virtual Desktop, by example. This one and the second one too. Here we are. So some use case to have a good discussion with your customer. What do we have more? So marketing material. So from Microsoft now, you still have access to the webinar from different subject. So there is a lot of information and video from Microsoft. Documentation for sure. There is a lot of documentation from Microsoft. Sometime for a specific subject like this one. I just take this one for VMware Horizon. There is about Citrix 2. There is some business case you're able to read regarding some practice to AVD and a lot of other subject for sure from Microsoft. Training material from us, IT Cloud, with IT Cloud Academy. So here we are, and I end invite you, pardon me, to get contact with Steve Noel, our responsible of IT Cloud Academy, if you need some information regarding that. So it could be a great opportunity to raise up your knowledge or take a look with your customer too. There is a lot of opportunity regarding that. What's next? Microsoft training and certification. For sure, from Microsoft Docs, the Learn section, there is a lot of information like what's new with Azure Desktop. Honestly, each first day of week, I take a look about that just to be top of the page, to be on the top of the way, to know what's happened with AVD, what's happened with Azure. So there is a lot of new feature on the weekly base. There is some documentation regarding the training, like this one, introduction of Azure Virtual Desktop. This is a good point to start if you don't have any experience. So it could be great for you to take a look about that. And the last and not the least, the exam and certification. So exam easy 140 and easy 104. The administrator of Microsoft Azure, they are good skill to get an exam to have in your pocket to know what happened exactly in Azure and to be an administrator of Azure. So great thing to do about that. Next one, the famous question: what about the demo or trial? Unfortunately, no. From Microsoft vertical, from us, the CSP, Microsoft does not offer to indirect reseller the like us the any test sandbox demo whatever environment. However, as a public trial from Azure perspective, you can play with Virtual Desktop or any other services from Azure with a public trial between you and me. You only need to have a personal email and a credit card, and you will have 200 of US dollar for the first 30 days. This is enough to play with AVD and any other solution. You only need to spin up the server and play with that. And just for your information, from a few days ago, there is a new preview services of AVD deployment. 5 small question, and boom, the AVD is ready to go. You are able to connect yourself. It's amazing. So honestly, you are able to do that by yourself. Play with that, do a proof of concept, show to your customer. When your customer is ready to go, you involve us and you start a commercial CSP subscription. Because yes, this public trial could not be moved easily into a CSP subscription. We can do that. The most of the time there is a kind of solution alternative, but the most of the time we start back scratch over because there is a lot of modification, adjustment, and test and drive, something like that. So the most of the time everybody prefer to start from scratch from a commercial perspective. From MPN design, if you are MPN member, you can have Azure benefit. If you have any question regarding the MPN program, I invite you to take contact with Majida, so she can easily help you and provide you information regarding the MPN subscription. By example, some offer from MPN provide you Azure benefit, so you are able to play with Azure for nothing. Could be a great strategy. Windows 365, same thing from MPN and also from CDX. So if you have any question regarding that, I invite you to get contact with your reseller responsible from us, and they are able to guide you regarding the CDX to have or get access to pre-populated environment from Microsoft. But honestly, Windows 365 is a good thing, but this is ratio 1 to 1. So this is very for a close subject. Compared to AVD is 1 to many. So we share infrastructure with many users. More user we have, less we pay. We are close to the end. So right now, the YouTube channel. So this session today and the previous one are available to our YouTube channel, and I invite you to scan the QR code, click on the link to see what we already done with my colleague Sylvain, Steve, Carl, support team already providing information and good practice and presentation from our YouTube channel. So let's take a look about that. Book a call if you need anything else from us, from the specialist department. So regarding Azure, security, modern work, Copilot, something like that, I invite you to click on the link or scan the QR code to book a call. So you will have access to our public agenda. So you will be able to do that by yourself and select a time schedule for yourself at your convenience to have access to a specialist, by myself, by example. Evaluation. Please, to be able to understand if the session was useful for you, to allow you to provide feedback about us, we need and we want to understand if we can improve. If you have any other subject or proposition you want to see by us in the future, let's take a look about that and scan and just let us to know. So we are close to the end. So this is the time for the question. Let's move myself into the Q&A and chat. Let's take a look. We don't have any question. Q&A is loading, is empty too. Okay, so we are 15 before the end. So again, everybody, thanks a lot to be there. So if you have any question, comment, or something else, just let us to know. You can give us a call or just send an email to your partner responsible. And if else, we will be here to assist you, the partner. It's always a pleasure to have a discussion with you. This is the 5-star services from IT Cloud as usual. So take care and see you later. Bye bye now.